Noel Hart here, Teacher Development Specialist at the Professional Learning Center. In today's module, we're going to talk about organizing your Google Classroom. It's important that you organize your Google Classroom because it can look like a stream such as Facebook or Twitter, and you will find that if you do not organize it well, that eventually parents and students are going to ask you where to find the information that you're looking at. So you want to make sure that you find this information. Google Classroom can be organized by topics, and that can be a lifesaver. And the more detailed the topic, the better for you and the parent and the student, because then you can easily tell them where to go and look for the information that you're looking at. Topic suggestions. For content teachers, so secondary teachers, or if you're teaching just simple content at elementary school, I'd advise you just to do it in weeks. It's a lot easier. So, like a week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. That way, you can tell them which week they should look. And when you want them to study, you could say, this unit goes from week whatever to week whatever. And then that way, they can go back and look at all that. I tell you right now, it's a lot better than just putting up like homework as a topic or test as a topic, because those things it gets really filled out, so it's just easier to look at things through by weeks, and it's easier to direct students by weeks. For elementary, if you are teaching all the subjects, I advise you to do content in weeks and think about what content are you teaching the most. So, for example, if I'm doing ELA, well, I'm probably giving out a lot of reading material. So I might do ELE week 1, ELA week 2, ELA week 3. I might do that for math too, because I'm honestly giving out things every single day in those contents. But like science and social studies, I might not teach as much, or it's not as long, or I'm not giving out enough as much research material. So I might just put science week 1 through 6 as a unit, or social studies week 1 through 6, or ELA week 1 through 6. So depending upon which content are you always teaching and how in depth you go in that topic, you want to think about your weeks. Because again, a second grader is going to have a hard time finding what reading material you're looking at. If you want to go back and review, if you just say look at ELA week unit 2, it's going to take them forever. But if I can say look in ELA week 16, that's going to be a lot easier for them to find. Other topic suggestions: syllabus, research, group work or homework, projects, anchor charts. So things that I want them to go back and look at really quickly, especially like my anchor charts. I might put all my anchor charts into the into a topic, so they can always go back and study those things, and that might make it easy. So I might have anchor charts in a week topic, and I might also just put them also in another topic, so put them in two topics at once. Of course, any kind of research that you want them always to look back on, so any strategies, graphic organizers could work. And of course, group work is an easy thing to do, and I'll show you that in mine. So let's look real quick at my science stream. So as you can see, this is a science class I taught, and it's got a stream. This is almost unbearable to look at, so I've got to go to my classwork section. And as you can see, I've put my topics out by weeks, and I've also put modules, homework, and then here's what I did. I also put small groups. Um, and so in my small groups, I will always constantly change these depending upon what students I want to put in. But all I've got to do is go up here to edit, and I can take these 3 students out, and then I can make them into another group of students so that they're constantly changing, or I can keep those 3 students in there, and the work that I give them, it stays in the small group section. So that's what I can do in that sense. It's a lot easier because I found that it was a lot easier to do small group topic than it was to put them in weeks, because a lot of times they got lost in the week because I put so much content in there. But I've always had a small group topic they go in there. So this is the way that I would have set up my class. And if there was something that I was like screencasting help, these the students in this class had to do a screencast. So I always had a topic just so they could go back anytime they wanted to. So if there is something they'll always go back and look at, you might want to make that a topic in itself. And of course, using the weeks, it was easy to always go back to tell them what week we were looking at the time that we were in. Another way of organizing is to create an agenda sheet. And Joe Hart made these, and these were fantastic. So he would have still put them by, he put this by chapters, but they were essentially days or weeks. But then what he did is he made a Google form that they got to view, and it had all the links that they needed for that day or for that week. And so if you do pre-plan and you put in the links in the form, and in this it also tells who's the small group leader, where the small group leaders go, what role the small group leaders had. So if you're worried about them clicking around and not knowing what to do, especially for secondary, you could create an agenda sheet in which it would automatically have what your plan was for them. And then all they've got to do is stay in that agenda sheet, and all the work goes into that agenda sheet. So then you would know what they were doing, you would know where they were going, but they don't have to click all over the place and get lost. It's all in one sheet. So an agenda sheet is also another way of organizing. So here's what we want you to do for this module. We want you to organize your classroom. And then we want you to take screenshots of that and upload them to the form. And so what we want is essentially screenshotting your topics. What do your topics look like? Or if you did agenda sheet, what your agenda sheet looks like. And then we want you to upload that to let us know that you are organizing your topics correctly. Thank you.